MVD Visual and Dark Arts Entertainment bring to 4K and Blu-ray the, in some period of time, in some areas, infamous, I guess, ZYZZYX Road from 2006. This is presented as a 4K disc and as a Blu-ray disc, but the extras aren't necessarily... The Blu-ray has more extras than the 4K, which is pretty common. So this is 81 minutes, directed by John Penney, and stars Leo Grillo, Katherine Heigl, and Tom Sizemore. And I'm going to tell you what's on the 4K disc and then on the Blu-ray. The story goes a little something like this. Leo Grillo, middle-aged accountant in a car with his much younger, kind of spacey girlfriend, Katherine Heigl, and they are on the run from a... well, I'll tell you a little bit more than I normally would of the story. So it goes a little something like this. They are driving in the night outside Las Vegas, body of her abusive former boyfriend in the trunk. Things went wrong during a hotel room dalliance. Leo Grillo killed the boyfriend, portrayed by Tom Sizemore, and they're going out in the middle of nowhere off this actual road, ZYZZYX Road outside Vegas, to bury the body. And things don't go well. That's all I'm going to say. Things are not what they thought they were, and they don't go well. As the movie goes along, I'm going to speak in very broad terms here. As the movie goes along, multiple times, it's a very twisty, surprising film. As it goes along, you think, oh, I understand what's going on. And then something happens and it kind of changes everything. And you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute. I've got a different understanding of what things are now. And it does that several times as it goes until you realize what you thought was going on in this story was very different from how it all ultimately turns out. So this was good. This was a good small movie. This was just really two, maybe three characters. Really, I think you only ever see maybe two characters at a time in this film. That cast really is basically those three people. And it's them in a car, them in a desert, and them trying to get out of this increasingly bad situation. So very like desert noir-y kind of film. I got kind of a Blood Simple vibe from it. And apparently this film was infamous in its day because they really get into it. The extras on this are as interesting, if not more so, than the movie. And I thought the movie was good. The film went down in history as the lowest grossing movie of all time, and it became very infamous and a source of derision and joking for a while because basically for DGA or for some kind of union rules, a film has to get a theatrical release. If you hire people at a certain rate, if I'm understanding this correctly, they in the industry, it requires in the contract that the film will get a theatrical release. And it's the way that they justify that sometimes is to play one matinee in one tiny theater somewhere so they can say, yep, it played in the theater. We did what we had to do. Well, that happened, and for whatever reason, the movie only made $30, and it got picked up by some website, and then that got picked up by Variety, and it became this big thing that it's the lowest grossing movie of all time, and most of the people involved with the movie didn't even know that it had come out. So it's a very interesting and amusing story. They really dig into every aspect of the production on this movie. But anyway, the 4K disc, it's presented in 5.1 DTS MA and 2.0 Dolby Stereo. It is closed captioned. It looks great in 4K, super sharp. There's an introduction by the director and the star that's a minute long. The bonus on that is a commentary by star Leo Grillo and his daughter, who is seen like in a photo when she was a very young girl, and now 20 or so years later, she's like a 24-year-old joining him to talk about the movie. And you get a commentary by director John Penney. The Blu-ray has all of that stuff, but it also has an archival behind the scenes thing that's in 11 parts, and they're all relatively short. Totals about 30 minutes of 4:3 SD video. There's an archival interview with John Penney shot while they're making the film. It's 26 minutes, also standard def 4:3, done in the desert. And the interview ultimately comes to an end because the director and cameraman are being attacked by ants. They're like, ow, I think we're done. We got enough, right? We got to get out of here. The ants are killing us. There's a shooting location comparison that's interesting. That's 6 minutes between what it looked like in the film and what it looks like now. The Legacy of ZYZZYX Road, a discussion. That is 93 minutes. That is actually longer than the film itself. The director, casting director, and star/producer Grillo discuss the conception, execution, and aftermath of the film with intercutting behind-the-scenes video clips from when it was being shot. And that's a lot of stuff that you didn't see elsewhere, so that you don't see a lot of the same BTS stuff over and over again on this, which is nice. You get a storyboard slideshow that's 12 minutes long. You get a storyboard to scenes with 3 scenes, and it's 7 minutes, and it's a split screen done in sync where you see the scene in the movie, and then you see all the storyboards next to it. what the artist rendition was with the original idea versus how it looks on screen, which I always find interesting. You get the trailer, which is 1.5 minutes, and you get the Mystery of ZYZZYX Road music video by Chandler Dean, which is him performing this. It's not really a music video. It's a video of him performing music, but it's him live somewhere doing this song about this movie. So packaging, you get a slipcase, and the slipcase slips to reveal a different cover. You crack it open and you get the Blu-ray and the 4K. I don't think it's a reverse. Oh, it is a reversible sleeve. So you get that, and if you reverse it, you get that. So I think which is probably closer to what the original disc release looked like. So it's a really nice release of the movie. Performances are great. I guess Tom Sizemore had said this was his favorite independent movie that he ever did. Katherine Heigl is really good in it. And this was like right before, I guess it was right around the time she started on Grey's Anatomy, before she went into more major motion pictures. They said this was like the last indie movie that she did, and there's a lot of information. She doesn't participate in the extras here, but nobody has anything bad to say about her. And so it's a really good package for a movie that apparently most people who know it, or a lot of people who know it, just know it as, oh, that movie that made $30. It's actually pretty darn good. It's a good indie drama, thriller, neo-noir, desert set pick. So I would recommend ZYZZYX Road.